Yes, yes, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to my peoples and my guys, look alive, look alive. It's another episode of Box and Night Court. Court is now in session. You are all my witnesses and jury. You may all be seated if you're not seated already. But before we get into the case or cases that we have on the docket, it's been a long time, so let's introduce the fellas. Stay ready, man. Tell the people what you got going on. And we appreciate you coming through tonight, man. The people missed you on Boxing Night Court.
I know,
They
boy.
say you all they say you got a good record on Boxing Night Court, but you don't be showing up, putting it on the line. That's
Man,
what
I
they
do. I
saying.
put I put my
Who
record
who
on the
who
line.
who said that? Who said that?
Your
Who
boy
said
just
that?
be
Act?
busy.
That sounds like a self claim.
uh,
Your boy just be busy. That's all. That's all. That's it. That's all.
but tell them what you got going on.
Man, come Monday, I got an interview with Michael Angeletti. Tuesday, I got an interview with Devontae Williams. Wednesday, with um I got an interview with uh Quinn Randall. And then I got an interview with Regis and Oshaki Foster coming up.
Right.
So it's going down, man.
And of course we got the Rocky review together.
Yes, sir.
I can't wait for that one. I'm kind of excited about that. But Steels, man, let the people know what you got going on, man. What we got going on with the listening sessions.
Y'all know what it is. It's your favorite yet your most hated art fella. Back for another one. Episode 28 of Boxing Night Court. Yes, indeed. Y'all can follow me at right here on YouTube. The Odd Fella, The War Report. You know what I mean? This Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to have Chicago's own LH pass through for a live listening session. He going to be dropping his exhibition LP, the exhibition album, you know what I mean, live in the war room. So, yeah, pass through 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Your favorite Judge Galvatron, will be in the building, also reviewing the new news, you know what I mean, and doing the hip hop interviews with your boys. So, yeah, y'all know what it is. The War Report, the Art Filler. That's what's up.
Yes, sir. Um, so with that being said, first case on the docket, uh, kind sir.
Indeed. First case on the docket is the LDBC versus Mr. Luis Ortiz.
And salute to everybody in the jury. Shade Girl, Kwee landed at 216 Renee. Uh, yeah, salute to everybody in the building. And Bumpy Thompson, salute. Y'all just stay in the jury. I'm just highlight y'all comments as we cooking on the case. Would anybody like to make any opening statements?
Well, I want to know what the charges are before we can make the statement.
That's true.
Indeed. Well, before I address the defense's request regarding the charges to Mr. Luis Ortiz, um, I would like to make my own request, um, as a deserved, um, long-standing defense lawyer within this LDBC council. Unfortunately, this case of 12,569 or 568, I believe, Mr. Luis Ortiz, was supposed to take place almost 3 weeks to a month back, Your Honor. Through these troubling times, through this month uh of time that's elapsed, I've been receiving threats, Your Honor. I've been receiving threats from the Ortiz digital family, as well as the United Brotherhood of Cuban sympathizers, Your Honor. With that being said, I would like to request protection from none other than the usual suspects, because it's very dangerous out here in these internet streets for your Lincoln lawyer.
Where's Mr. Gumbo when you need him? So are those all the charges? So you're not gonna let us know what the charges are? He has a right to know.
Yes, he does have a right to know,
And
but I
in
have a right to
defense of his
I
client.
have a right to request, Your Honor, for protection
Oh,
due to the
trust me,
hostilities of this case, Your Honor.
I promise you listen, you safer than the president in my court.
Indeed, Your Honor. Well then,
So would you like to elaborate and let the defense know what the charges are?
indeed. Fraud, embezzlement, and duckery. Fraud, embezzlement, and duckery is the first line of charges, Your Honor. Through this case, Your Honor, I also want to display how your favorite uncle has been guilty of desecrating a national treasure. I will prove that in depth. Also, Your Honor, would like a retroactive illicit drug citation on your uncle Ortiz.
You've been asking for a lot.
I will also go through these details with a fine-tooth comb, and will present you the receipts to why we need to retroactively ban your uncle Ortiz for illicit drug citation. Your Honor, those are the charges that the LDBZ presents before you.
Counselors, stay ready. Would you like to cross-examine anything that he said?
Well, number one,
with regards to the opening statement,
he's already been tried and he's already been found guilty of the banned substance. So I don't think he can't retry, because that'll be double jeopardy. Are we doing double jeopardy in this court, Judge?
That's a good question. No, we don't believe in double jeopardy over here.
Okay. So that charge needs to be dropped. We can't add on additional repeated charges, but I would say I would like to for one, these charges are they shouldn't. They're redundant, Judge. Like, why are we dealing with it? Like, I don't even understand. But since we got to, I'm going to prove without a shadow of a doubt that my client is innocent and he shouldn't. I repeat, he shouldn't be charged. He's just an old grumpy man that just want to box and make money. That's it. That's all. And he wants to fight that he never that nobody everybody act like they'll fight him, but nobody wants to fight him. And I'm here to prove that today.
So, would anybody like to begin with their opening statement?
I will let the prosecution go first.
Your Honor, I have exhibits. Would you be able to
Yes, sir.
share my exhibits to yourself as well as to the jury? I believe we all see case 12568.
Yes, sir.
Your uncle Ortiz. Your uncle Ortiz. Allow me to introduce you to this family intruder. Your uncle's not a ped. He's a PED user. Hold up. Walk with me, y'all. Allow me to introduce you to this family intruder. Your uncle's not a ped. He's a PED user.
Objection, Your Honor. I thought we wasn't going to talk about that.
Wait, order.
You're allowed to object in court. That's proper terms of court. But he's going over things that we said we wasn't going to use because double jeopardy. Remember? Come on, Judge. No kangaroo court here.
Your Honor, are you gonna allow me to unravel my case,
let
or
him unravel.
are you
Yeah,
gonna
you know what?
are you
You know
gonna
what?
censor this case before this case before Uncle Ortiz gets or the LDBC gets a fair trial?
The LDBC will always and forever in my court, in the LDBC court of justice, we will always be fair and honorable. So we will let you say what you have to say, whether it holds or has any weight, depending on a particular point in your case. That'll be it, but it won't have an overall effect on, every single thing on your case. But we might not hold something that you may say uh, or count it as far as the ped usage and stuff like that. But still, you're allowed to make your point. Proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now allow me to reintroduce you to this family intruder. Your uncle's not a ped, he's a PED user. To all my children that are in fear of this boogeyman, listen, I'm gonna show you why this boogie here has been a scam. Once again, y'all, let me remind y'all of this indictment against Mr. Luis Ortiz. We're dealing with fraudulency, embezzlement, and duckery, yes, as well as the desecration of a national treasure. Okay, and once again, the retroactive illicit drug citation, which the defense wants removed, but you will see as I get into this presentation why it should be retroactively remembered and citated. Let's get into some background information. Let's set the table
Ow.
so we know where Mr. Uncle Luis Ortiz, your Uncle Ortiz, is coming from. Exhibit A, which I call, jury, Your Honor, biggest payday. Okay, this is coming out of the Forbes, very credible magazine. Y'all might read or know about. According to the Nevada State Commission via Yahoo's Kevin Iole, Wilder's purse for Saturday night's fight is $3 million, while your Uncle Ortiz will earn $1.5 million for his upcoming work in the Fox pay-per-view main event. In their first meeting, Wilder officially earned $2.1 million, with Ortiz reportedly bringing $500,000, otherwise $500,000. Now we all know that the PBC is, yeah, you get some front end money, but you also get some back end money. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna bring that and take that into account. So yeah, once again, his biggest payday guaranteed, front end, reported by Kevin Iole, 1.5 million. Let's be generous, because Uncle Al, your other favorite uncle, our other favorite uncle, he's a very generous man. Once again, he sets these boxes up with real estate. He set these boxes up with different investments. So let's say our generous Uncle Al Heyman pays your Uncle Ortiz an extra 1.5 million in back end money, doubling up, making it a total of 3 million. Uncle Ortiz's biggest payday. Now, mind you, that's coming up against one of the faces of boxing, the national treasure, Deontay Wilder. But let's move on to Exhibit A. Because once again, I told you, I set the table and I showed you about the 1.5 plus 1.5 in back end money, which totals becomes a sum of $3 million. Now let's look at these reports. Turning down fights. Your Uncle Ortiz. Now, multiple sources have informed theboxingscene.com. Didn't say singular. It said multiple sources have informed theboxingscene.com that Ortiz's representatives have turned down Eddie Hearn's $5 million offer to step in for 5 weeks' notice against Big Gravy, Big Maybe Miller. They asked, your Uncle Ortiz's team asked for $10 million. 3.5 million more than what Big Gravy Miller's package for the fight would have had if the boisterous Brooklyn contender did not test positive for multiple performance enhancing drugs late in March. So allow me to back up once again. Multiple sources have informed BoxingScene.com that Ortiz's representatives have turned down Hearn's $5 million offer. Last time I checked, $5 million was more than $3 million, which is potentially Luis Ortiz's biggest payday. If we being generous with our favorite uncle, Al Heyman. Moving on.
Yeah, I'm headed to it now.
Moving on. we have more reports. This report coming straight from the mouth of the boxer himself, Otto Wallin, also known as Otto B. Wallin.
This the one with guns on it.
Otto Wallin says, I was in negotiations for a fight against your uncle, Luis Ortiz, on Showtime. And I said yes to that fight. Otto Wallin said to the Boxing Social, another reputable boxing program on these YouTube streets. In the end, it didn't happen. Tells me he didn't really want it. In the middle of that, I got offered to fight Dillian White. And we all know what happened with that. So we have multiple sources in the first report. We have a boxer, a credible boxer who should be undefeated, who should have stopped Tyson Fury by TKO, by cuts, saying that he wanted to fight Luis Ortiz and he said yes to the fight on Showtime. A man that fought his last fight on Showtime against Dominic Brazil. Once again, he said yes to the fight, but it didn't happen. Your Honor, I would like to take this time to bring some new evidence, audio statements that I have intercepted, Your Honor. Audio evidence that I've intercepted, Your Honor, of Frank Warren of Queensberry Promotion speaking in regards to Joe Joyce fighting your uncle, Luis Ortiz. And we'll hear his clear statements that I've intercepted. And shout out to Ness from the Boxing Voice that conducted this phone call / interview. But I'll stop my screen real quick and we'll hear this assertion from Queensberry Promotions, Frank Warren, who also co-promotes highly regarded, I believe, #1 ranked contender in the WBO, Joe Joyce. There you go, Your Honor.
I got rid of it. I got rid of it.
Has verbally put out an offer to Joe Joyce, who you promote. I wanted to ask, have you gotten any conversations, any phone calls from maybe a Louis DeCubas Jr.?
We made an offer. We spoke. We made an offer. I was told he didn't want to fight, so he needs to go and talk to his people because we want to do that fight. If he wants to do that fight, tell him to get his guys to call me, get Louis to call me, or whoever, PBC, whoever it is, call me, and we'll make that fight in a heartbeat.
So
I have to find out off the top of my head. I don't know in my office. It's done by the matchmaker, but 100% there was offer. We were told that there's no interest in the fight.
would you?
One more for the people in the back.
Luis Ortiz has verbally put out an offer to Joe Joyce, who you promote. I wanted to ask, have you gotten any conversations, any phone calls from maybe a Louis DeCubas Jr.?
We made an offer. We spoke. We made an offer. I was told he didn't want to fight, So he needs to go and talk to his people because we want to do that fight. If he wants to do that fight, tell him to get his guys to call me, get Louis to call me, or whoever, PBC, whoever it is, call me, and we'll make that fight in a heartbeat.
So
I have to find out off the top of my head. I don't know, it's in my office. It's done by the matchmaker, but 100% there was offer. We were told that there's no interest in the fight.
would
Hmm.
There you have it, Your Honor. I would like to continue to proceed with my case. Let me just bring this back up. Continue with Exhibit A. Once again, that was the third report. Once again, let me sum up what we've just heard with the duckery, with the fraudulency and embezzlement. We have him turning down the fight against AJ, which could have made him unified, which then could have made undisputed.
Coming ahead.
That fight was then turned down for his potentially biggest payday of $5 million. There you go, Your Honor. We also have the report straight from the boxer's mouth, Your Honor, and the jury, of Otto Wallen agreeing in principle. We don't have confirmation if he signed the contract, but we have his statements agreeing in principle to the fight with your uncle Ortiz on Showtime, which came to no avail. We also have the testimony from Queensberry promoter Fisheye's Frank Warren, confirming that the fight was offered to your uncle Ortiz to fight the WBO #1 ranked fighter in Joe Joyce. But it came with no response. Hold on. No response, Your Honor. Fraud, embezzlement, and once again, Your Honor and jury, duckery. Let's move on to why Mr. Luis Ortiz should be charged guilty with the desecration of a national treasure.
Hmm.
This is
deep.
this comes back.
You
Your
charge
Honor.
him for.
Indeed. This is very deep. But these allegations that I'm about to reveal to you, Your Honor, cut very deep. Very deep, Your Honor. And they are very much overlooked in our community when we glorify this false, fraudulent boogeyman of Luis Ortiz. Once again, the charge is desecration of a national treasure. Exhibit B, the slanderous. Anybody wants to reference where this article or where this information came from, it was written by Anthony Cox, November 13th, roughly 2 years ago in 2019. Luis Ortiz labels our national treasure, Deontay Wilder, a dirty fighter and wants an all-Latin unification with Andy Ruiz. Allow me to continue to read, because this is where it really starts to get interesting. This is really where it starts to get absolutely slanderous, Your Honor and jury. If there was anything gleaned from the Ortiz side of the conversation, it was the contention that Wilder's antics, that Wilder's antics should be different this time, as opposed to illegal blows that Wilder throws with the inside of his fist, and when Wilder punches from the top of the head down, which should be illegal and borderline criminal, Ortiz explains through his trainer and translator, Herman Caicedo. Let me repeat that. Not all the way to the front. Let me take it to the midpoint. Opposed to illegal blows that our national treasure Wilder throws with his insides, with the insides of his fists, and when Wilder punches from the top of the head down, which should be illegal and borderline criminal, Ortiz explains through his trainer and translator, Herman Caicedo, who's still in the crew to this day. Once again, this is referenced and categorized by Anthony Cox, November 19th. Interviewed your Uncle Ortiz, slandering the national treasure and calling him a borderline criminal. Does this not garner any type of consequences, Your Honor and jury? Does this type of allegation have any merit? After the national treasure has blessed you with title shot after title shot, even though you were really in the deserving area to garnish those title shots. But we'll get to that. We got to crawl before we walk. We got to walk before we run. Let's talk about your dirty uncle. Because the defense don't want this to be heard in court. They want to sweep this under the rug. But understand, your uncle's not a PED. He's a PED user. September 2014, Ortiz failed for a pre-fight drug test for the anabolic steroid Nandrolone, after he scored an impressive first-round knockout of my guy, the Super Eagle, Latif Coyote. Y'all don't remember that. Y'all just got into boxing. I'm letting y'all know. These are the receipts. He scored an impressive first-round knockout over Latif Coyote to capture the vacant black belt, aka the WBA interim heavyweight title. The Nevada Athletic Commission changed the result to a no contest and suspended Luis Ortiz for only 8 months and was stripped for the title. Moving on, we have the VADA president. Dr. Margaret Goodman, who personally sends a letter to Suleiman saying that they administered a urine test to the Cuban boxer on September 22nd at his training facility in Miami. And the results came back Thursday and revealed Ortiz tested positive for banned diuretics, chlorothiazide, hydrochlorothiazide. We'll go with that. Remember, this is back when your Uncle Ortiz was claiming there were high blood pressure medication. Once again, it says which are used to treat high blood pressure,
It's called.
high blood
Can I
pressure,
tell you the name
but
of it?
also
Because I take it.
can you mute your mic, please, defense? Can you mute your mic, please, defense? Objection. Objection, Your Honor.
I just wanted to give you the right name.
One at a time. Order in the court. One at a time,
It's
damn.
it's hydrochlorothiazide. I take it.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
a water pill.
All right.
Once again, which are used to treat high blood pressure, but also can be used as masking agents for performance enhancing drug use. This letter comes straight from Nevada president. Once again, I say straight from Nevada president, Dr. Margaret Goodman. Okay? So I've established
Objection, Your Honor.
What are you objecting?
Why is he still talking about Pez and we're not doing double jeopardy?
I said that what he states.
But that was at the beginning. At this point, he's pandering, Your Honor. He's trumping up charges and he's swaying the jury. Objection.
Your Honor, this leads into the reason why that you should look heavily on the desecration to a national treasure charge, because this man is a repeat offender. However, our national treasure has blessed this man with multiple opportunities. With that being said, additionally to the slanderous accusations to the national treasure, I am also bringing this up because many of us have this fascination with the boogeyman. Many of our children are scared of the boogeyman, Your Honor. I'm trying to clean these streets and rid these streets, these boxing streets, of a fraudulent boogeyman, Your Honor. These receipts, these exhibits of your dirty uncle's past must be displayed.
We still want to give Counselor Stay Ready a chance, to cross-examine and rebuttal certain arguments and statements that you claimed.
Yeah,
he has a right.
This is just the opening statements, but
Well, with that being said, Your Honor, I will break the onslaught and allow the defense to attempt to try to defend your dirty uncle, Luis Ortiz. But once again, a reminder to the jury how slanderous these words were from Mr. Luis Ortiz of our national treasure. We have to be in reminder that your favorite uncle, Luis Ortiz, has been dirty and popped multiple times for performance enhancing drugs.
Objection, Your Honor.
You're doing it again, prosecutor.
So with that being said, Your Honor, I will allow the defense to re-examine.
Well, for starters, Your Honor, I want to talk to the jury. The jury, can y'all please strike those charges of PED use off the record because he was already tried. It's he's already been tried for it. I don't know why he keeps bringing it up. He used PD. Oh, whoopty shit. They already found him guilty. He served his time. He served his suspension. He did that. Now, can we move on? Can we move on?
Objection, Your Honor. Objection, Your Honor. The PED usage and the pattern and the multiple and the frequency of the usage is valid to my case, Your Honor. It's valid in showing that a PED abuser, your dirty uncle, could be guilty of such crimes as the desecration of the national treasure, guilty of being a fraud, guilty of being a fraudulent boogeyman that ducks the top up and coming competition because you're
But
under the watchful eye
are we
of
objecting
VADA
or are
right
you
now.
going? Are you
You're
going
under the
on?
watchful eye of VADA right now. So, Your Honor, with
Your
that
Honor.
being said, I believe
No, did we already
PEDs are valid to this case, Your Honor, and it should not be stricken and removed off the record, Your Honor.
PEDs are be restricted off the record because he cannot be charged again after he's already been tried and been guilty and served his time. It is not a validity of this case. This case here is for him is the charges of him being embezzlement and for charges of him being the creation of national treasure, whatever you say. Those are the charges, not of PED use, because you can't try him again for something that he's already been guilty of and served his time. If the glove, if it do not fit, you must acquit. Yeah, damn it. Let it go. Let it go. He hasn't failed a drug test since. So why are we still bringing this man up on charges that he's no longer a part of? He hasn't failed a drug test since he left Matchroom. You're just trying to get the book thrown in. Let it go. Let it go.
Objection, Your Honor. This called the timeline coincides with the multiple title shots that are national treasure granted your dirty Uncle Ortiz.
No, they don't.
Order in the court. Continue your defense. Counsel, stay ready.
Thank you. Now, as far as ducking goes, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm here to let y'all know once things happen, it's part of the business of the sport. If I'm a fighter and I got a team handling my case, I want this fight. But at the same time, I'm not going to take it unless they pay me right. I want this amount of money in order for me to take this fight. Is it wrong for me to ask for this type of money? That's not a duck. That's just the money I want. A duck would be me turning down the fight saying, no, I'm not going to take it. No. The times that he turned down each one of those fights, it was all over. His team wanted more money. It was all over money. Now, if he was charged for overpricing and you know what I'm saying, embezzlement, then yeah, that because he's trying to trump up charges, I can understand that. Now I can truly understand that. But he's not. It's not he wants money. He's old, he's trying to get as much as he can out of the sport before he get up out of here. I understand that. Man. I'm sorry. Me personally, I leave jobs because guess what? I want more money. You got to pay me. So if they don't want to pay me, guess what? I'm going to somebody that's going to pay me more money. When Anthony Joshua didn't want to pay him, guess what he did? He went to Deontay Wilder and got way more money. He lost again, but that was supposed to set him up for the Dillian White fight. They tried to undercut him. They tried to only offer this man $1 million. He's worth way more than that. Whether he lost to Wilder or won the fight, didn't win the fight, whatever. He's worth more than $1 million. I am so sorry if you wanted him to bow down and take less money to fight a license like Dillian White, but he felt like he wanted more money and he was worth more money. So that's what he decided to do. He turned down that fight. Well, his team turned down that fight, and they sent a counter offer asking for more money.
Your
Dillian,
Honor, let
hold
the
on,
record
hold
state.
on, hold
Let the
on,
Order,
record
hold
state.
order,
Let the
order.
record state.
hold
Let the
on.
record state
No,
that the
no, you
defense
didn't
has just
object.
revealed
You
a
did not
fourth, a
object.
fourth,
You did not
a fourth
object. You
report of a
can't cut
turn
me
down
off
fight.
without an objection. You can't cut my statement off without an objection. You can come back and do your thing after I do mine. You didn't object. It's nothing to object because I'm giving you facts. What I told you is I'm going to repeat it once again for the court. They offered $1 million. They sent a counter offer saying we want this money. And Dillian White came out on Twitter and said that he overpriced himself. They no longer want to fight. It was nothing to object. Those are 100% facts. They offered him some money. He wanted more money. They said no, and they turned down the fight. They turned down the counter offer. So who now? You can call that a duck if you want to. It sounds like to me, it sounds like Dillian White ducking. Because anybody can make it seem like if you duck it, if you send them a bullshit small money offer, if you send somebody a small money offer, like let's say, key example, I'm gonna use Danny Garcia and Bud Crawford as an example. Court, bear with me. Terrence Crawford offered Danny Garcia $3 million. Danny Garcia said in he turned down the fight because he made $3 million against Rod Soccer at 140. He's at 147 and been at 147. That lets you know he didn't made that and is making way more money than that now. If you're gonna offer him a fight, you're gonna have to literally pay me for a fight. They had the nerve to up and send Amir Khan $7 million, who's a lesser fighter than Danny Garcia. Now, you could undercut Luis Ortiz by offering a low ball offer, and they said, no, we don't want that little bit of money. Here's our counter offer. You turn it down. That's a strategic duck from the A-side fighter. That's exactly what he did. Dillian White ducked Luis Ortiz. Now, let's go to Joe Joyce. We already know that beady eyes lie all the fucking time. We've seen him lie many a time. We've seen him lie when he said they sent Shakur Stevenson an offer for a fight with Josh Warrington, and he ain't sent nothing. So if we're gonna sit there and listen to the words of beady eyes from Queensberry Boxing Promotions, then we might as well just throw the whole case out because this motherfucker lies.
Call them
Like
BDI.
this motherfucker lies like it's his new goddamn like it's the new thing. It's the new hip thing. So I'm not listening to shit he say. Yeah, they tell. How do we? And y'all know if Al Heyman sent an offer, that shit's not gonna be public. How do we know they not working behind the scenes right now? You haven't even heard nothing from BDIs or Joe Joyce since. So that right there don't even count. The only thing that I will even remotely give you is Anthony Joshua. And then when he turned down Anthony Joshua, it was the same thing. They asked for more money. I'm sorry, but that one they offered him a good amount. I ain't gonna even lie to you. That for a championship fight, and you've been trying to fight this man for the longest. I'd have took that one. That's because that's a belt. Other than that, no. But either or, the man wanted more money. He said, y'all not going to treat me like I'm worthless. I want more money. Stop treating me like I'm a piece of shit. I want more money. Your rebuttal. I rest my case, man.
Your Honor.
prosecutor.
Thank you. Once again, the defense's case is definitely not rested. It's very restless right now. For one, let me address the Dillian White 1 million offer. Because we all know Dillian White is not a star attraction, is not a pay-per-view attraction in the United States. Dillian White makes money over there in the UK. Dillian White is somewhat of an attraction, somewhat of a pay-per-view star in a smaller market, in a smaller pond. Let me remind the judge and the jury that for the face of boxing, when your uncle Luis Ortiz faced the face of boxing on National Treasure on the first fight, he only made 500,000 on the front end. Let's double that up and make it to a mill. That's equivalent. That's equivalent fighting a lesser opponent in Dillian White. You're getting the same amount for fighting the National Treasure. That's duckery to me. The defense also forgets to allude to or address the Otto Wallen assertion, the statement of Otto Wallen agreeing in principle to the Showtime fight. But the defense casually ignored that part of the fraudulency, that part of the duckery. Allow me to remind you of that. Allow me to remind you of his biggest paydays, which debunks
Order. I see where this is going.
Which debunks the defense claims that 1 million against to fight Dillian White was a absurd offer. When in actuality, it was a valid offer. But Your Honor and jury, I have more evidence to solidify my claims against our National Treasure, to solidify my claims that this man is a fraud. And he's not your traditional boogeyman. He's a boogie scam. Exhibit C, Your Honor, and your jury, is a picture, a snapshot of your Uncle Ortiz's box rec. Yeah? One thing that's notable is that if you look at the top, you see his last fight was a first round KO. That's very formidable of a man that they called the Boogeyman. That KO came against Alexander Flores back in November of 2020. So let's note that your Uncle Ortiz, the so-called Boogeyman, has not been active for the whole year. Has not been active for the whole year Last fight, Alexander Flores, who's not a ranked contender, but once again, he's turning down fights from Joe Joyce, Otto Wallen, Dillian White. Let the record state the defense admitted that they turned down the offer of $1 million from Dillian White and Matchroom Boxing in order to fight Alexander Flores. Let's look further into the snapshot of your Uncle Ortiz's box rec, his record, his resume. As we see here, I have in the red circle who I believe your Lincoln lawyer representing the LDBC is the most legitimate opponent on his resume. You say, well, what about Deontay Wilder? Well, we will strike Deontay Wilder off of the so-called boogeyman's resume, your Uncle Luis Ortiz, because that should be null and void due to the fact that he has desecrated the national treasure. So let's remove him, twice stricken, off of your Uncle Ortiz's resume, and let's see what we have left. Let's see what we have left. We have guys like Travis Kaufman, Razvan Kajanu, Daniel Martz, the great David Allen, and to cap off the white murderer's row, Christian Hammer. And let me remind you of the allegations that he put on our national treasure. Borderline criminal, he called Deontay Wilder. But for all these European boxers, he had nothing but great things to say about Christian Hammer. Nothing but lovely pleasantries and thoughts and statements for Dave Allen. Nothing but love, well wishes, and respect for Daniel Martz. But when it comes to the national treasure, Deontay Wilder, you're a borderline criminal. Once again, I go back to the red circle, the red oval, which encapsulates a now retired boxer turned trainer, Malik Scott, who is now the trainer of the national treasure, Deontay Wilder. The best fighter on your resume is a retired fighter that is now the trainer of the national treasure that you desecrated. Make that make sense. From 2016 to 2021, it's hard for me to find a top 10 opponent within this box sweat, within this resume. But the people want to tell me, oh, it's all about the skills. It's not about who you fight. Let's continue Exhibit C, Boogie Scam. Because another thing I want to relate to Your Honor and the jury is who else is in on this scam. We all have witnessed The jury have witnessed, Your Honor, you have definitely witnessed and made your excellent determination on these cases with regards to the WBO, the IBF, the WBC, and the WBA, which we really have to do the WBO again, but that's for another time to discuss. But the IBF, WBC, WBA are all unified in being found guilty in these here LDBC courts. We all know the WBO is a tag along and rides off the coattails and does virtually everything else the other major 3 sanctioner bodies do. A lot of us credit the IBF of being the most reputable sanctioning body of the 4 in these current modern times in boxing. But allow me to reveal to you the further extent of this boogie scam. Because once again, these sanctioning bodies have been scamming the peoples with these fictitious rankings, fighters in their ranking systems that haven't fought nobody in the top 20, nobody in the top 10. But allow me to continue to dissect and present you this. In the WBO, he's ranked number 7. If we look at the 12 fighters other than your uncle Luis Ortiz, he hasn't fought one of them. Not one of them. From 1 to 12. 11 other fighters there, he's not fought one of them, but yet he's ranked number 7 in the WBO. I guess that's based off the strength that the National Treasure knocked his ass out twice. But I digress to the IBF. With the IBF, who's the most sensical of the 4 sanctioning bodies, has him ranked all the way down at 10. Once again, if you look through the list of fighters that is ranked in the IBF, the International Boxing Federation, he's not faced one of these fighters. Not one. Not one youngin, Ajit Kabayel, Australian prospect in Dempsey McKean. There go Otto Weiland at number 12, who I already stated through his own mouth said he turned down the fight. There go Joe Joyce, who we know Frank Warren confirmed that they didn't want it, and they said, when you ready, have your people call us up. Louis DeCubas, PBC, have your people call us up because we want to do the fight. There you go. There you have Philip Hrgovic. There we see Philip Hrgovic. We all know Philip Hrgovic been looking for an IBF eliminator because he won his title shot. Why ain't Uncle Ortiz come calling? Why ain't Uncle Ortiz come give him this little young bull a lesson? This little young Croatian bull a lesson? That didn't happen. Nope, that didn't happen. We proceed to the WBC, one of the most corrupt in current times, and they have Luis Ortiz ranked number 4. Once again, the only fighter that he's faced in this top 10 of the WBC is the National Treasure, who he's desecrated, so it doesn't count. It doesn't count. Moving on, last and very much least, the WBA, where he's ranked number 6. Once again, looking up and down the list of fighters, he's not fought one of these fighters. So through all these sanctioning bodies, he's not faced any of these ranked fighters. Any of these ranked fighters. Matter of fact, I've established he hasn't fought a ranked fighter since 2016. Since Malik Scott. 5 motherfucking years ago. Excuse my language, Your Honor, but I'm just so passionate of getting this boogie scam off the streets, scaring our children, scaring our virgin boxing fans from
Object.
not knowing the real, Your
Yeah,
Honor.
you objecting, counselor.
He's saying he's just so passionate and going on and on, but he's making all these points. I haven't had a chance to rebuttal one.
And you can rebuttal now. I believe he's finished.
Yes, Your Honor. This is once again to the defense. This is what you call presenting your case.
This is what you call pandering to the jury.
This is what you call a presentation of your case.
Okay,
So understand now that I'm finished. Now that I'm finished giving the details to the jury, and as well as Your Grace, Your Honor, Judge Galvatron, you may now continue and try to reattempt your defense. Go ahead.
I'm not gonna reattempt my defense. If you take Deontay Wilder away from his resume, Luis Ortiz is undefeated. Who has he lost to? The only person he lost to is Deontay Wilder. So that makes the boogeyman lost to the boogeyman. Yet he's still the boogeyman because nobody's trying to fight him. They sending him low ball offers. Come on, low ball offers, bro. Low ball offers. And like you said, Frank Warren, beady eyes. Still, we sitting here trying to believe a beady eyes. Let me ask I just want to ask the judge and the jury this, not the prosecutor, the judge and the jury this. Do you believe anything that comes out of Eddie Hearn's mouth? Judge? Are you there, Judge? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Judge, I asked, do you believe anything that Eddie Hearn had to say? No. Frank Warren is from the UK, just like Eddie Hearn. He lied just like Eddie Hearn. We've known him to lie.
Objection, Your Honor. Objection, Your Honor. Is this turning into a prejudice?
Order.
No, it's not turning into a prejudice court. It's not turning into prejudice. It's turning into
claims
me
against
facts.
a whole nation.
Am I gonna?
Whole companies of the
am
UK
I gonna be,
are discreditable?
Order in the court, please. We're not showing the jury that we're running the kangaroo court. This is blue tie, Judge. I'm not as violent. I'm not the tyrant tonight. I'm trying to move through this case smoothly. We've been doing good so far. Let's not look like animals in the in the LDBC Court of Justice, please. Now, was it counselor? Were you making a point? Stay ready.
Yes, I was making a point.
You may proceed with that point, and once he's finished, if you want to, Prosecutor Steels, you're more than welcome to rebuttal that point, so we could eventually get to the verdict and close out night court.
Yes,
because there's a rumbly in my tumble.
Mine too. And all I'm saying, Judge, is that these folks lie on a regular basis. And I'm not gonna believe something that somebody else is lying about. I'm sorry, I just can't do it. I just can't do it. And we want to sit here and give him all the credit for lying, like he hasn't been lying. Like he hasn't been lying. No. I'm sorry, I can't do him. Promoters gonna lie. All promoters. So I'll be damned. I'm not gonna give him that. I'm not gonna give him that one bit. Never, at all. He's gonna have to come with something better than that. That's the only thing you can. That's the only thing you can really fight. That's the only thing you can fight. Beady eyes. And then you came up with, then you said on his resume he fought what? Razvaz, Kanu, and all these young guys. He was fighting them. Why are these young guys calling him out? I don't hear these young guys calling nobody out. The only person that you even mentioned that might be calling somebody out is Joe Joyce. But here's the thing. I if if my recollection, if I can recollect, and I got pretty good memory. We was just in a pandemic, still in a pandemic. A lot of fighters hasn't fought in this pandemic. They could be in negotiation right now. So if he is going to fight Joe Joyce ain't fought either. Neither has Luis Ortiz. So that means they could still be negotiating that fight right now. We don't know, but we just gonna say he ducking just so it'll help my argument out. No, that doesn't help your argument. It only helps it. Now if somebody goes into a fight and they still ain't fought. Yeah, maybe he did duck, but right now it ain't no duck. Right now it ain't no duck. I'm sorry, it's not. I rest
Oh,
my case. Oh, I forget. I be forgetting to say that.
okay. Anything you want to cross-examine, prosecutor?
Once again, Your Honor, once again to the defense, it doesn't matter if you believe uh whether it's a duck or not. It's for you to make the jury and make your grace, Judge Galvatron, believe that it isn't a duck. Once again, you failed to mention Otto Wallen, who's been left out in the pastures twice by your client, Uncle Ortiz, as well as by Dillian White. We also have
So is this Olive Wallen on trial or Dylan Luis Ortiz on trial?
Otto Wallen is part of the evidence that confirms that your client is a ducker that should be guilty of duckery. You've also admitted and revealed to us that your client turned down $1 million offer to Dillian White, which is more than enough to fight somebody uh, as such or on the level of Dillian White. Uh, that's two. Joe Joyce and Frank Warren, regardless if you believe that UK promoters are unsavory and do not have reputable words, those statements were intercepted, as we all heard the judge and the jury. Um, Once again, via uh, TBV. Shout out to Ness for that conduction of the interview, confirming that offer was made and was turned down. Once again, showing the reference, the article by Anthony Cox of your Uncle Ortiz's desecration of the national treasure, Deontay Wilder, by calling him a borderline criminal, by alleging that he uses illegal tactics in order to knock his opponents out with no further justified claims. This is just faded off and dissolved in the air, but I want to bring that smoke back. This is all in part and why he should be guilty of desecrating the national treasure. And once again, to rebuttal the defense's regards of the flimsy excuse of the pandemic. Oh, the coronavirus, the my client could not fight. Well, within that same time when your client was not fighting and turning down fights, another heavyweight, young heavyweight by the name of Big Baby Anderson was fighting repeatedly, multiple times. In fact, 3 times during this pandemic. So fights can be made and fighters can be active regardless the situation. Bubbles were built and now restrictions have been lifted in most places, and we still haven't seen or heard of a scheduled fight from your Uncle Ortiz, who has been indoctrinated, who has been denoted as the boogeyman. Once again, judge and jury, I tell you, this man is a boogie scam. He hasn't fought other than the national treasure, who he has desecrated. He hasn't fought anybody of ranked nature since 2016, Your Honor. Since 2016. Once again, he has lovely words for the white murderers row in Travis Kaufman and Christian Hammer and Nathaniel Martz, but has unsavory, unflattering words for the national treasure, borderline criminal. With all that summed up, Your Honor, you should see it fit to see our family's dirty uncle. We like to hide these shames in a closet and not allow it to get out to the street. But we need to do something and clean our streets. And we need to clean our closets as well, Your Honor. And
Yes, sir.
rid our community and our closets, our boxing closets of this vermin that's been percolating and festering and scaring our boxing children, Your Honor. Fraudulency, embezzlement, duckery.
I just keep hearing them going over the same points over and over and over, like it's gonna make a difference. So I really want to go ahead and get the judgment.
Objection, Your Honor.
feel like
Objection, Your Honor. This is not this is not
it's
a rap along where it's your turn. This is this is a court session, Your Honor. And I was just about to sum up. It's almost like every time I'm about to sum up, the defense wants to talk over. The defense wants to talk over because I'm sounding so good. I'm sounding so sweet. You just have to bring your nasty interjections and not just wait until I'm done. But excuse me, defense, Your Honor. Your Honor, I would like to request that the defense be extra penalized for the frequent delays and frequent interjections that he has been denoting, and knowing that the magnitude and the seriousness of this case, prolonging the inevitable, Your Honor. But with that being said, I rest my case, Your Honor, and I hope that you see fit to be impartial, knowing that those strong Cuban bloodlines run through your veins. Knowing that we have done the history and the background check on Judge Galvatron. And we know that you are a member of the United Brotherhood of Cuban sympathizers. But with that being said, I trust your impartiality, and once again, I hope, and pray that you honor our arrangement with the protection from the usual suspects in regards to the threats that are come against me. With that, I rest my case, Your Honor. Thank you.
Yes, sir. You had any last words, counseling, before I render verdict?
No, I want you to render verdict because he kept regurgitating the same points.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. So the jury and I have come to a verdict. We find in the case of Luis Ortiz, case 0218, in the LDBC court of law, we find Louis King Kong, or Uncle Ortiz, we find him guilty in embezzlement, guilty for fraudulence, guilty for duckery, and guilty for desecrating a national treasure such as the Bronze Bomb. Mandatory 10 years.
I'm going to appeals court.
I mean, you have a right to that. But at the same time, the sentence will begin next week. Great episode, fellas. Y'all was
I'm very happy with your judgment, Your Honor. Thank you. Once again, this was very important that our boxing streets were rid of this boogie scam. But once again, I thank you.
Yes, sir. You had been wanting it for so long. He said that appeals. Stay ready.
Yeah. I appreciate, man. We had fun. I enjoyed it. I really did. It's been a while since we had a good debate like that.
Yeah. That one was a good one, and that's why I've been wanting y'all to get on there. It's been a little while, so trying to at least get to 30.
Yeah.
Trying to at least get to 30. Got 2 more episodes for that. But let's get ready to close it out. I gotta try to grab something to eat before it gets too late.
All right.
I know my coach is gonna call me too. Mac, man, tell the people where they can find you at. Thanks for coming through, bro.
Y'all come tap in. Stay Ready Boxing TV. 3 interviews this week. 2 coming up. I still don't know just quite yet what days, but
Rocky review. And
the Rocky review. So y'all make sure y'all come tap in. Tell a friend and come tap in.
Mac, you watched it again yet?
Not yet. I've been out.
Okay.
All right.
Just next time you watch it, just write down some stuff that you want to point out or whatever.
All right.
Steels, man, tell the people what we got coming up. I'm a busy man.
Indeed. Once again, salute to the chat. Salute to the chat, aka jury, that kept it popping. Tomorrow, 4:15 Eastern Time, pull up. We bullshitting on the Beltway. It's the usual suspect ting. Supreme Beats Boxing Talk. Y'all know what it is. Cadillac Red KG doing their thing. Once again, 4:15 p.m. Eastern Time. That's tomorrow, Tuesday night. Me and Judge Galvatron, we got live listening session that's on my platform, The War Report, The R Fella, right here on YouTube. We got LH, Chicago's own, dropping the the exhibition LP, you know what I mean? So pass through, that's 9 p.m. Eastern Time, you know what I mean? live inside the War Room, the War Report on YouTube. But y'all know what it is. It's your favorite yet your most hated art filler. Salute to the whole LDBC, and I'm Gizon.
Yes, sir, man. Salute to everybody in the jury that came through. Salute to my brother, Stay Ready. Salute to Jay Steels for them both putting on a good boxing night court session. Hopefully, we could give y'all something even better in episode 29. And then, of course, the 30th milestone. Hopefully, we can make that too. But with that being said, man, check me out on the Rocky review. I'm really excited about that. This is gonna be my first time doing like a boxing movie review. I'm doing that with my brother Mac, and y'all check me out on the listening sessions. What is it? Tuesday night we on Steels.
Yep.
Okay,
Tuesday
check
night.
me out. Yeah, on the War Room. Y'all check me out over there. And yeah, man, salute to the usual suspects, the LDBC. It's your boy Ack Reacher. I never see you wrong. And court is now adjourned. We out of here.